Speaking of positive COVID tests.
Yeah, so I think to finish up on our favourite subject, the EPL at the moment. So the note I had here, 40 positive tests were detected among top flight players in staff in the week between December 28th and January 3rd, so straight after Christmas.
Yep.
And 4 Premier League games have already been postponed. So then following that, the English Football League, which oversees 3 divisions below the Premier League, recorded 112 positive tests in total.
Okay. So 112, that's amongst 60 teams. You got to think 3 divisions down there.
Well,
so it possibly sounds worse than it is.
If you take the 40 number, across, say, 20 teams, they've got a starting 11.
Yep.
And those teams have probably got 20 guys, say, in camp. So say that's, if my math's right, 400 players a team? 400 well, that's 20 by 20. Yeah.
So it's probably a few more. I think most clubs probably take 25. But of guys that play regularly, man.
But to help my maths, the 440, that's 10%.
10% of the league.
Yeah.
So it's pretty full on.
That's a high number.
So we'll see what's going to happen with the EPL. Obviously, the UK going into some pretty stringent lockdowns now.
And so technically their third lockdown, their first one was strict. Their second one, I think they didn't really give too much fucks about. This one looks like it's going to be as strict, if not more strict than their first one.
They've got that new strain, the super strain.
Yeah, the super spreader strain, which is blowing up cases for them. Like if you look at their map, it's vertical. So, of course, a problem, which is then going to be a problem for the EPL because I don't think they've played any games since the last time we talked. I think there was an international round They played some Champions League games, I think.
No, we have. Yes, there hasn't been any international. They just had a little break.
They had a little break. Maybe a forced break a bit too. Especially, it's over New Year's, so they didn't play any over New Year's.
When did we broadcast? It was
Saturday last week, sorry.
So they've had 3 games to finish off that round. So Leicester City 2-1 over Newcastle United, Man City 3-1 over Chelsea, and Southampton a massive upset over Liverpool 1-0, which means that Liverpool and United are top of the table now on 33 points, but United have a game in hand.
Yes.
Yep.
Who knows? We're just got to hope that this, they can get on top of the virus and. Yeah, it would be a real shame if the season gets postponed or canned. When you put it like that, 10% of the players in the top flight.
Well, compared to, say, the NFL with all their cases.
There'd still be 1%, probably 2%.
Yeah, it's very low in that. Any of the other kind of sports, it would be interesting to see what the NBA's numbers are, if they're still growing. But because what's a 10-a-side sport? That's similar.
10 aside?
Yeah, nothing really.
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
I'm thinking the NRL and
at 10.
It's probably, stats like squad size, like team size and league size. There's nothing really kind of comparable that we could do a quick check of percentages.
Yeah, it's always different as well.
10%'s a lot though.
It is.
How many players are on a lacrosse field?
This guy over here.
It's not 10. It's not 10. I reckon lacrosse is 8.
8?
Yep.
Technically in NFL, it is 11. It's the same. It's 11 aside, but it's
roster size is pretty different.
But the roster size is very different, and it's probably you got 22 starters versus 11. So, we will follow the EPL and see what happens in the coming weeks. I think at the moment they're still planning to play games because with some of their rules, I think production stuff it can go ahead. Professional sports can go ahead. No crowds, of course.
There's games scheduled for Tuesday night over there, Wednesday morning our time. So see if they go ahead. And the other interesting thing I wanted to point out, just Leicester and Southampton running 3rd and 6th. They obviously still early days, but would love to see one of those teams playing in Europe. Leicester obviously just coming off a Champions League year. They've sort of, since winning the league a few years ago, been able to actually sort of establish themselves, not as a dominant team, but as a team that's always there and thereabouts. And Southampton probably haven't played European football for a very long time, if ever. So
that's the problem when you win a championship. Usually guys want to pilfer your team for players. That definitely happened with Leicester City.
Happened with Mahrez. Vardy's still there.
But at least keeping some, and then of course probably following the same formula. They got them in that place, trying to get those other next generation into there and trying to maintain that, create that dynasty.
How many of those guys are still there from that team? Vardy obviously was. Albrighton was, I think. Schmeichel was. It's maybe 3 or 4 guys.
But that again also was
4 years ago, maybe.
And there's a fair bit of roster turnover in these places.
Sure is.
That's
about it.
I think that's about it.